I'm Devin Jackson. I work with Blue Chip Scouting, contributor for the Blue Chip Scouting and Downtown Sports Network. But my full-time daytime job, I'm a reporter for a local news station in Pennsylvania. But first, thanks, Cam, for taking the time to join me today. How's everything
Yeah,
been
thanks for
going?
having me.
How's everything been going, kind of with quarantine and all that?
Everything's been pretty good. Quarantine is quarantine, so we've just been stuck in the house. I've been getting as much work in as possible outside, and have a weight room in my garage at home. Thank God. So I've been able to get my lifting in, been able to hit some fields with my coach that's trained me all my life being at home. So it's kind of a blessing being able to step back and really get back to the technique and all the details again.
When was the first time you started playing football, and has cornerback always been your natural position?
I started playing fifth grade, and I've been playing corner all my life, so I've kind of always known that that was my calling. So played every position basically, but corner was the one position I played every season, every year, full time. So I really focused on that my entire life, and going up to probably after my sophomore year of high school, that's when I really knew, okay, I've found a trainer that is teaching me all the right stuff, and I see my progress jumping up like crazy, and that's when I knew that I was gonna be something special, and just had to put the work in after that.
Was there something about yourself that kind of stood out, kind of internally in terms of playing cornerback? Like, was it like either a skill or trait or something that you always knew that you had that would translate into playing further?
Just my attention to detail, and just being a technician. Because growing up, I was never the most athletic or fast kid. I'm still not the most athletic or fast, but my my technique is, I would say, one of the best out there. So not to be cocky or anything, but just the detail and the amount of work I put in, and just never doing any busy work, always doing something that translates to my game perfectly. So I think just the way I train, and the way I train is a lot different than most people. So I think that that's what separated me through these years, is being a technician.
When did you start getting attention from scouts and colleges across the country? And then what kind of went in deciding factor in choosing Cal?
After after my sophomore year season, I was on JV. I was like fifth string on JV. Didn't get any playing time, not even fourth quarter, not even the fifth quarter with the reserve games. So that was a tough year. So that's when I really started training after that, because I transferred to that high school, and there was people really good there, and I didn't expect to have that much competition. So I was kind of on the back burner. And then so that off season, I just went training super hard with the coach that I found that still trains me to this day, Anthony Brown. And that's when he's trained me every single morning at 5 a.m. before school, just so I can get an extra workout before school and then go back to him after school. So that's when I really started to get some recognition, because now I was making progress, and then I was able to go to the camps that off season. And then in, I think, July, a camp at Cal Poly, and then I was able to get my first offer there just balling out of the camp before I had any varsity film or anything. So that's when I first started getting my high school recruiting started. And then after that was my only offer during the whole junior season. Then after that, that's when the offer started to roll in. And then I chose Cal mostly just because it's a special school. I don't think everybody can't go there because you need grades. It's Pac-12, so it's top tier competition. So I just saw something real special in Cal and just the program and where we're headed.
I saw that you redshirted your freshman year at Cal, but you're a 3 year starter at Cal. How do you think you talked about your technique being something that you honed in on? How do you think how well you work on your craft and technique played into you becoming a 3 year starter? Because I mean, let's face it, in D1, a lot of players are not being 3 year starters and being as productive as you've been.
I think just the technique aspect of it just brings consistency. So that's something I was able to do freshman year. I obviously redshirted, so I was able to just sit back and really watch and learn from everybody. I'm super thankful to all the old guys that molded me and helped me just grow and know about football more overall. So then once the athleticism came, got a little bigger, stronger, faster. That whole season of training without playing my redshirt year, um, then bringing the technique in, it was able to bring a concept of of consistency. So I think that's what helped me last this whole time being a 3-year starter. Because athleticism comes and goes, your body doesn't always feel right, but if your technique is always on point, then there's nothing you can really fall back on because you got your technique there always.
How do you think you stack up against some of the better competition? Like I said, you played against Brandon Ayuk and Michael Pittman Jr. specifically last season, but how do you think you stack up to those guys?
I'm confident going against guys like them because those are people I've been going against since high school and growing up. And I think all my years I've held my own against some of the best receivers in the Pac-12 and in the country, playing SEC schools. Back when we played Ole Miss twice, I expect to win those matchups, and I'm thankful that I play well against the good competition like them, and I'm thankful that I'm able to go against that competition and show what I have. And me holding my own is a testament to the consistency and the technique that I put work in, and my teammates also.
You're left on the island a lot of the times. Is that something that's scheme wise, or is that something that the coaches just are confident in your secondary, you and the secondary, to consistently make plays?
It's kind of depending on the matchup, but for the most part, as a corner, we're left in man coverage a lot of the times. I know a lot of people say I'm a zone corner and all that, but I think we play the most man out of anybody in the Pac-12 that I've seen, because a lot of our zone coverages, the corners are still playing man, and then everything else will be in zone. So I think I play man probably majority of a game. And other than that, we'll be in cover 3, but still in our packages, cover 3 most of the time is man for the corners. So that's why I feel really comfortable being on an island, and I'd rather it be that way because I put in this work for a reason. So I would love to just match up and just have to lock up all game.
They got names like obviously you've seen the names like Patrick Surtain, the second, Caleb Farley, names like that, but what do you think separates you most, and what do you think are some of your strengths as a corner, going into the next level?
One thing that separates me that I've seen a lot, my tackling. I'm really good in the run support, I would say, and my numbers show with that. But obviously, you can't really rely on numbers every time. But I think I show up really well in run support, and I just think the consistency over the years and the competition I've been going against. I've had good showings against a lot of the top receivers. I think that really shows the type of corner I am. I'm able to lock up against the best guys, and not just being in zone and playing cover 2 against them and playing a lot of man against them and having to be on my own. So I just think through the years, you see the film and it speaks for itself, kind of just seeing me going against the top name guys, a lot of first, second rounders.
Who has been your toughest matchup in the 3 years you played at Cal?
Dylan Mitchell, for sure, from Oregon. He was a dog. And right now, that's still in college. Tyler Vaughn. Those are 2 people that have my respect for sure, and always really good matchups because they're real quick and real crafty with their route running.
What do you think is your best game on film or in general?
From last season, I'd probably say Oregon, just because the competition and knowing that they had first-round quarterback and really, really big name school. Let's see. I say UW also because that's when I had my interception and we played really well as a defense. And then I'd probably say Arizona State just because I was matched up on Brandon Ayuk most of the time and held my own.
What is something you felt like you've improved on the most since you've started college and started playing more in games?
I would say just being more physical at the line, change up my press technique. First year, my freshman year, I was motoring most of the time, so giving space to the line of scrimmage. But especially this past season, I switched my technique and used mainly a pierce step, kick step technique to where I would sit at the line of scrimmage and not give him much ground because that's what a receiver wants, so he can do all the shaking. So I was able to get a lot more hands-on and to be more physical playing man and make it tougher on the receiver. And most DBs do motor technique anyway, so when you get to the game and the receiver's not doing what he's used to and seeing in practice throughout the week, it's a lot tougher on them.
You're sitting across from NFL scout. He asked you why they should draft you. What do you say?
I'm giving you consistent years of playing corner. You see it on the film, and I'm the hardest worker in any room, so or any sport, I would say. And and I'm gonna put as much work in to get on the field and stay on the field as possible, and to be that Hall of Fame corner that you guys are looking for.
All right, man. I appreciate you taking the time today. Anything else you want to say or add?
I just want to thank you for having me and using your platform to help me out, and vice versa. Thank you for this interview.